Welcome to today's Business Spotlight session, guys. Today, my guest is Colm Ryan from AssayGenie.com. Colm, you're very welcome.
Great. Thanks a lot for having me, Tom.
So tell me, what is Assay Genie all about, and where did you start the business, and how long have you been going?
Well, that's a good question. Now it feels like we're still a young business. Founded in 2017. Myself and my co-founder, Sean McFarrick, we set up the company in March 2017. And yeah, what we do is we actually provide antibodies and antibody type kits to cancer researchers all over the world. Um,
Okay. So it's cancer researchers, or is the research community only and people involved in science, presumably?
That's it. Yeah. So
Okay.
anybody doing cancer research in either academia, so universities like Trinity, Oxford, Harvard,
Yeah.
and everybody all the way through to big blue chip pharma companies like GSK, Pfizer, Amgen.
Okay. So tell me, but the products themselves, how do they come about? Did you create these products, or how do they come about?
Yeah, so it's a kind of we came about it through an interesting sort of route. But my background is I did a PhD in biochemistry, and from there, I decided I had to get a real job at the time. So I had to leave research, and what happened was I moved back to Ireland. I was living in France at the time. I moved back to Ireland
Ah,
and took a job with a life science distributor. And really, what I saw from there was I had to work with many of the big global life science companies such as Thermo Scientific. They're a Fortune 500 company. And
okay.
what I noticed really was that there kind of seemed to be a gap in the market for a company that was kind of fresh and vibrant and that was kind of modern. And really, we noticed there was kind of gaps in the market. And so, for example, some of the competitor products we were being outsold on because of color changes and little kind of funny things that we noticed that actually if we could set up our own brand that was modern, vibrant, and did really good marketing and provided excellent support and provided great quality products, such as one of our key products, our ELISA kits, we could really put Ireland on the map and grow internationally. And that's how we decided to set up the company.
Okay, so you're based in Ireland, but you created something unique in the marketing. So can you share with us what's the different approach in marketing?
Yeah, well, actually, we do quite a lot of different things. I suppose when you look at our kind of our mission really explains quite a lot of what we do, and we really adhere to it. It's not just there for the crack.
Yeah.
But it is our and before I get to the marketing side of it, actually our innovative products. So that's one kind of part of it. And so we've got really innovative assays and technology for cancer researchers. One of them would be ELISA kits, and we've assays for fatty acid oxidation, essential processes in cancer and
Okay.
the detection of them. But really, when it comes to kind of the marketing side of things, I think what we want to do is something fun and vibrant. So you take everything from our logo to the support we offer. And, the support is one of the most important things. So we've got a live chat that's manned about 18 hours a day for most of the global markets.
Okay.
We have we do a huge amount of SEO, and we've got a lot of expertise in that. And really it really goes back to providing the best support we can for scientists all over the world. And that goes for distributors. We have distributors in 80 countries. We've got PhD trained scientists in our office providing excellent level of support to our distribution network and customers. So if there's any technical questions before, during, or after, they can come to us, get on. And that probably is one of the most important things. And of course, we do a full
Yeah.
marketing around that too, which is another story.
Yeah. So it isn't just an online presence which you have. Obviously, I've been looking at your website there. So it's Assay, AssayGenie.com, guys. So if you want to just check that out. So you can do it online, but obviously the secret sauce perhaps is that you have people that these scientists and researchers can actually physically speak to. But the order then is carried out in an online fashion. Is that it?
Yeah, like I mean, if like our
Mm.
sales and marketing team, we've got we've got like live chat, scientific support, technical support, but we also have direct salespeople operating in different markets, and
Okay.
that's then markets that we don't sell direct in. We've got of course, our distributor network, which covers about 80 countries.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Now we're getting into the customer. So how many people would you have in your team currently?
Well, in Dublin,
Include, say again?
we've 15 people at the moment in Dublin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've your branch of network people around the world in different places as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So tell me, hiring that team, presumably since 2017, they didn't just walk into the front door for day one. How did you go about hiring those people, and what were the qualities that you looked for, Colm?
That's a good question. I think, people that have generally we look for initiative, people that show initiative. That's a huge thing with us. Especially as founders, we want to kind of have people that have a similar type of mindset to us. It doesn't really matter what stage you're at in your career, as long as you can show that, and of course, grit and determination too. But I think the nature of the business when you start out as well, due to maybe sometimes budget constraints, or as you're growing as well, we kind of hired fresh graduates, and they would have a science background, but we've worked with incredible people. And I suppose as we matured with a business, then as a business, then we'd look for people with maybe more experience. So maybe you'd have, let's take sales, you might have direct life science sales experience and a PhD. But really going back to the qualities, you're looking for somebody with great determination and initiative.
Yeah. And for you, being academic and scientist and a PhD holder, sales mightn't have been the natural calling per se for somebody of such academia, etc. Was that one of the bigger issues, the biggest challenges, realizing sales from your ideas?
Personally, I would have. My parents owned a bar, so I grew up in
Okay.
that environment. And then working in university, I worked in bars in Dublin, and went to them as well.
Good.
But so I had quite a lot of experience. I always felt like it's something I'd like to do. So after I finished my PhD and postdoc work, I came back to Ireland into sales, of course, which
Ah,
just felt it was
okay.
a natural inclination. I always felt
Yes.
I'd like to do it.
Mhm.
But interestingly, I think the question and the other side of things is, at the same time, even with the experience, when we started the business and looking back, it would be something that I'd have put a lot more effort into. Um,
Yeah.
if really thought about it. Even both of us had quite a bit of sales experience, but we still kind of said, oh, we'd maybe focus more on the marketing or the product side of it. But
Yes.
actually, I think from the day one to really try and build out the sales team and really push that forward would be probably the
Yeah.
key thing. Even after experience we've had, it's kind of funny how we kind of maybe lost sight of that a little bit at the beginning.
So obviously you've reached a level of success at this moment in time, and presumably the chart graph is still growing for you. Where do you see your industry going in the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Mm. It's a good question. I mean, you'd hear it's a growing industry, and and the reason is there's lots of new cancer treatments and drugs being developed all the time, and new
Good to
technology.
hear.
It is incredible. It really is incredible, actually, and it's phenomenal. I know we've all been touched by it in our
Yeah.
level and family. So it's
Mhm.
devastating disease, and but at the same time, there's constantly new evolutions. So that's going to push forward. There's more people interested in developing new types of therapies, whether it's small molecule compounds and drugs, whether it's kind of large molecule, as we call them, antibody type technologies, and even you're moving into kind of new cancer vaccines and stuff. So the industry is growing, and all those new technologies will bring a new demand for our types of products, such as antibodies, ELISA kits, and assays. So people developing drugs can actually understand what's happening in the cells and in organisms, and that'll help them then develop new technology. So that's really driving the industry. Of course, then there's market challenges. I mean, we've seen maybe last year as well, when there's a kind of a global contraction, it still hurts people's ability to fundraise, and it does put a bit of a dampener on people trying to develop new drugs. So I think the outlook is very promising from a technological perspective, but of course, global economic situations will always have either an accelerative effect, or even a dampening on it.
And can I just ask you then, are the products that you're selling then and you're bringing to the market for research, these have all got to be, is it FDA approved, or is it FDA, EFD, whatever, I'm not sure what it's called. But have you got to go through all that rigmarole as well before you could bring your products out?
You see, our products are research use only. So
Okay.
So what that really means that they're only, even though, so for example, we sell antibodies and we sell antibodies that can be used in mouse models too. So for example, there's lots of, you've heard of animal models and
Mhm.
maybe really, if somebody wants to study cancer and see if their treatment works, they might have a specific mouse with a tumor, and then they treat the mouse and see if the tumor
Mhm.
size. And so we've products that can be used for that, and they're of an
Okay.
extremely high quality. But none of those antibody type products can be actually used for human use. So,
With you. Mhm.
they don't need to go through kind of the same approval as a drug would, which would
With you.
be FDA or the
Okay.
European.
That explains that. Okay, thank you for that. That was my own ignorance, I think, really. So tell me, if you were to look back in your business, you alluded to it a little earlier. What would you do differently looking back now since 2017? So you've had 8 years and yes, 7 years in it. What would you change? Would you change anything?
Um, I'd like to say no, but the answer is yes.
Yeah,
Um,
there's
I think
always something.
that there's always something, there's always everything. I think
Yeah, yeah.
as the nature of the business, you want to do it perfectly, but
Mm.
at the beginning, I feel we probably tried to do a little bit too much. So for example, what we did is we set up three independent brands. There was a strategic reason behind it. So we had Assay Genie, Antibody Genie, and Eliza Genie, and it was three independent e-commerce websites, and it was a huge amount of work.
Mm.
That probably stopped us from really focusing in on our core strengths, which go back to it as like ELISA kits and ELISA technology and immunological reagents, and really understanding our customers' needs. And we kind of got bogged down in trying to be everything to everybody. So that's probably the biggest thing that would change, which is really focusing in on Assay Genie and what we're about, and actually, really understanding what our customers' needs and building those solutions much quicker.
Well, I wish you every success because certainly if you can bring about more research that ends a lot of the pain that a lot of people go through would be fantastic. Tell me one last question, would I, for the entrepreneurs which you are, there might be a few listening to this. What advice would you give to an 18-year-old you?
I think it would be to take risks sooner and not listen to people too much. To have more belief in yourself. And I have to say, myself and my co-founder were fairly relatively young for entrepreneurs even when we started. But that said, we would have both have had ideas, going back to years. But I think you feel that if you're very young, that maybe your ideas aren't worthy of
Yeah,
so I think to be more confident in your ideas and to actually go for it a bit more.
excellent. Colm Ryan, Assay Ginny, thank you so much for partaking to it today. Really enjoyed chatting to you and I wish you every success in the future.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Tom. Cheers.